So I went to these places because I wanted to find out firsthand what is it that Africa needs in the way of training. Africa, as you know, has the youngest population on the planet, which means that also another key factor before I go into that. Another key fact is that many of Africa's nations are in what I still consider to be in its infancy stage. Many of them only gaining independence in the 50s and 60s. So that means there's an opportunity to build skill sets and capacities for all these brilliant minds that we have with the talents and the products and the emerging businesses that we see there. But who's there to train them? Who's there to build capacity and they have this raw talent? And they want to learn how to export and do business with the United States, but they don't know even some basic things when it comes to business. One of the training models that I teach at a lot of universities throughout Africa and organizations through Africa, I also do a lot of work with the United States embassies and consulates, is preparing models to teach them things like understanding U.S. business culture. Teaching them about AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunities Act, which I'm sure you all might hear a little bit more about later. But in a gist, it gives over 6,000 products for 39 to 40 sub-Saharan African countries the ability to export products into the United States duty-free. I'm telling you, there's a lack of awareness of AGOA. The opportunity is there, but not many people know about it. So I created training models to help teach them about how to become trade ready and how to understand AGOA. So that's just basically what I want to say. I also source luxury African products that actually sell here in the U.S. And I also will be bringing African diaspora trade delegations to Africa because we need to be on the ground. We need to do business. We need to connect with the motherland. We have to be there. So that's what African Trade Partners does.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Anthony Jones. I run Hollywood events. If you can see when you step right in, you saw like a beautiful, like a photo booth, like a beautiful thing. That's what we're about. We just don't just create experiences. We don't have days where pictures are just boring. Right now, we do a lot of branding, we do a lot of brand activations, plans. So basically what I do is I'm more with the suppliers and we try to bring and look for a way to create and harness, not just taking ordinary pictures, but now you're taking it more than a step further. And you make events more interesting, like we have like this corporate event we have here. We have the party where you take your pictures, it sends it to your phone. So it's just not the regular conventional ways you do your picture taking, but it's all a whole lot. So I'm glad this event. I'm glad that I'm seeing everybody. And as you step out, feel free to walk up to the booth. Everything is free and it's on the house. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me now? Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Bronstein. I'm Vice President of Sales for IDT Retail, headquartered in Newark, New Jersey. Just a little bit of a history, why I think this is a very good opportunity, both for the organization and for IDT. IDT was created by a gentleman by the name of Howard Jonas about 30 years ago. We were in the telecommunications business. We sold phone cards. Everybody recalls about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if you wanted to make an international call, if you made a call with AT&T, they would charge you $2, $3, $4 a minute. Howard Jonas developed a way to call that. That was before phone cards, so people could call back, avoid the taxes, and they could call their loved ones in all destinations overseas. We then created phone cards. The object at that point was to help people, was to help immigrants, was to help foreigners, to stay in contact with their family. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that enter these businesses that are not so virtuous and try to advertise a lot of minutes on the phone and give very little bit in reality. So Howard created a company that was going to deliver what we promised and promise what we deliver. We became famous and we developed various kinds of phone cards. About 5 years ago, no, about 10 years ago, we began to do an electronic version, and I believe a lot of people here have used it, a company and a product called Boss Revolution. Normally, if I'm presenting something, there are many people who go, oh, I use Boss, I use Boss, I use Boss. And it's a very good way to communicate with your loved ones and your family. Well, as we all know, we have something called WhatsApp today. Now people will allow calling for free. So IBT had a choice to go out of business or move our business and make changes. So we entered the financial services business. And Howard's idea was to enter the business and once again help the immigrant, help foreigners, make sure that they're getting a legitimate product and they can conduct themselves accordingly. So we're now doing money transfer. We do money transfer to all of Africa. We have a very large footprint in Nigeria. We guarantee the funds to be in the stores either the same day or the very next day. We've got many compliments because, again, many of our competition do not always have the money available to deliver the money in the next couple of days, and there's usually some issues. So we also work with retailers here in America, and we help them formulate their business, we help them manage their business, and we then transfer funds overseas. Then we expanded to merchant services. Everybody here probably carries a credit card. There was another side of that business again, where the retailers use credit cards. There's all sorts of added fees that they're unaware of. And unfortunately, this is putting a black eye on a lot of the retailers using credit cards. We determined to run a clean business, and we developed this recently in the last 2 years. And I want to say thank God that we've been able to really help people to save money and to use credit cards safely at stores all throughout America and elsewhere. And more recently, we wanted to help people here in their businesses to manage their little stores. So we created a POS business, a point of sale. And it's a way that retailers can help manage their business, manage their inventory, be able to see what's going on in the store while they might be home with their family or on vacation. And we've got a lot of compliments on that. People say thank you to us, and we have all these things at our booth outside, and we welcome you to come and visit with us. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Hello, everyone. Hello? Hello, everyone. I'm sorry. My name is Salim, and I'm on the stage today just to introduce one of our guests. Obviously, she doesn't speak English. She's from Cote d'Ivoire, from the country. So I just want to say a couple of things about her, which is very unique, very great. First, when she heard about this event, she called me. She said, Salim, I want to be part of it. I'm like, what are you doing? And she started describing her activity, a business where she came from. I was literally crying because I couldn't imagine in Africa we had, of course, a woman of such dedication, of such energy to believe in Africa, and that's what she did. She's from the northern part of Cote d'Ivoire, you know, and then she realizes the cosmetic industry in Africa is dominated by big names, big companies, not going to name them here. But the thing is, most of their raw material comes from Africa. They go back, they manufacture, they brand it, and they go back and sell it to Africa. She woke up one morning, she said, no, it doesn't need to be that way. Then she started going farm to farm. She put together farmers, women farmers, and she decided to promote our own product transformed locally. So she started with shea butter. I don't know if you guys know shea butter.
Yes.
So shea butter is a very common product used in our village. It can be used for anything, to cure any allergy. So she put together those ladies, about 200 ladies in the rural zone, modern rural zone, and she created a company in Brentford and County. So they are doing only raw material, 100% organic from the farm. And working with other entities in Cote d'Ivoire, they will get the product certified in compliance with the international norm. So she booked a flight all the way to Abidjan to be here today to give a specific message to our fellow Africans, especially women. Yes, we are capable of doing it. It doesn't need to be always big companies coming to Africa. We all know Africa is a land of opportunity. Africa is a land of a lot of trusting. But we need to be first to leverage that opportunity. And that's what she did. She did a great job. Again, she comes with a couple of products of her. She butters. Like I said, 100% natural organic. It smells all the way in the back. So you are free to visit her. Again, Franca, thank you very much for coming. And then good luck. And again, this is a message for all of you guys. Let's make things happen in Africa. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. You can go ahead. Next, where are you, Madam? I think people want to know what conference is too. I don't know.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Awesome. Okay, so I just let you guys know that we will be doing lunch around 1 o'clock. Great. My name is Carrie Harrigan. My company is called Harrigan Consulting. We specialize in MWD consulting as well as certification. We also deal with business startups for small businesses, and we also specialize in brand strategy and marketing. Okay? So this panel is going to be about export-import opportunities for Africans and Africans in diaspora. This session will highlight programs offering one-stop shopping to both foreign businesses looking to invest in the United States and to local businesses that want to export globally. Topics covered will include accessing grants for exports, imports, securing loans for exports and imports, locating buyers and sellers, City of New York's economic opportunities for the diaspora, to include some of New York City's programs created to help New Yorkers with starting and growing stronger businesses towards economic prosperity, such as SBS and MWD Foundation. Okay, so on this panel, we'll have speaking with us today. We'll have Mr. Greg Bishop. He's the Commissioner of Small Business Services for New York City. We have Edward Eccles. He's the Regional Export Finance Manager. This is Mr. Bishop. We have Edward Eccles. He's the Regional Export Finance Manager, the U.S. Export Assistance Program. This is Mr. Eccles. And we have Natalie Lynn. She's the Economic Development Specialist for U.S. Small Business Administration. We also have Brian Tibner. He's the International Trade Manager for Global New York. Can we all give him a round of applause? So in this general session, we will have each of them speak to you guys for a few minutes. After each panel speak, please write your questions down and feel free to ask them after.
Those are the two people you are on.
Okay.
Okay. He's on those two.
Alright, so.
And when somebody's talking, talk.
Okay.
You see that he's talking.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Eccles. I'm with the Small Business Administration. It is the U.S. federal government, but don't be afraid, we are here to help you. That is what it is about. We are not the tax service or so. The Small Business Administration was created in 1953 to help small businesses. There's different ways that we do that: counseling, training, educating people on contracting with the federal government, which is a specialized field, and also, very importantly, access to capital to help small businesses borrow money from banks. I'm in that last group, and within that group I specifically do export loans. We have a couple of different programs that can help exporters in different ways with working capital needs or purchasing equipment that is needed to manufacture goods that you intend to ship overseas. But I don't want to go into too much detail right now because we don't have much time and a couple of speakers. But I have some information out there. Please come and see me afterwards, or if you have time, I'll be very glad to respond to your questions, of course. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Bishop. I'm the Commissioner for the Department of Small Business Services. We are a local agency here in New York City. Our job is to actually help small businesses start, expand, and operate in the city of New York. We actually work closely with our federal partners, the SBA, and are also our state partners. Our job is really to make it easy for you to operate, and we do it in a number of different ways. I too don't want to go into too much details, but I'll cover the high-level programs that we have. And if you want more information, we do have a table out there with two of our staff members that can provide you with additional information. So through our LLC Business Solutions Centers, we help businesses start, expand, and operate. So we have a number of education programs to help you figure out how to grow your business. We have a number of financial programs. So we do have a network of 40 lenders. Last year, we were able to connect businesses to about $74 million in capital. These are loans, and a lot of them are actually they're backed by the SBA. And what we do is we provide one-on-one assistance to help you find that right product. Many times entrepreneurs may not think they're eligible for a loan from a traditional bank, and about 60% of our loans are actually coming from our partners who are called CDFIs, so Community Development Financial Institutions. And their task is actually investing in smaller businesses for those who have 10 or less employees. We also help you navigate the city of New York. Obviously, we are a complex city. We have 8.6 million people here. Our budget is about $90 billion, and of course, we have different responsibilities. Agencies have different responsibilities to keep the city safe. And one of the things that we know is that some of these regulations become a burden on small businesses. If you are thinking about starting a business in New York City, you may not know what you don't know. So our job is really to help you understand the regulatory environment and make sure you're in compliance. So if you're thinking about opening up headquarters here or any kind of business here, please see us. The other part of our job is really to connect the buying power of the city to, and this is where some of you in the room might be interested in, to small businesses. So the city of New York, we spend anywhere between $15 and $20 billion, that's with a B, of your dollars if you are a city resident, to run the city. And we are very much focused on ensuring that at least 30% of that spend goes to minority and women-owned businesses. So we have an MW program. We can help you understand how to certify, how to sell to government, and then how to actually bid on our city contracts and provide all these services at no cost. The other thing that we're very much interested in is actually joint venturing and connecting two businesses that are on the continent. Time and time again, we've seen successful companies in other in other areas, joint venture with either engineering companies or construction companies in their home country with an MWB that's certified here in New York City to actually bid on a particular job here in the city. We are very much interested in figuring out where we can build partnerships on the continent to make sense for you to meet other MWBs that are operating here in New York and may consider as a partner joint venturing for either opportunities here in New York City or opportunities in your home country. So there's a lot of other programs. We have over 100 programs. I could probably spend the entire evening here afternoon telling you about, but I just wanted to just give you the high level and be happy to take your questions after this, and then definitely check our table outside. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Tudor. I'm an international trade manager with New York State's Empire State Development. Empire State Development is New York State's economic development agency, and I'm with the Global New York division. Global New York is charged with promoting exports by New York State companies, and we also attract foreign direct investment into New York State from around the world. So I'll just touch on a few of the programs that we offer to companies in New York State to help them promote their exports and get into new markets. So the first program is the Export Marketing Assistance Service. This is a free service we offer to New York State companies that meet our eligibility requirements. Those are being having less than 500 employees. They're located in New York State and handling at least 51% of the value of their products in New York State, and they've been in business for at least a year. We have contracted offices around the world in strategic markets that we deem vital to New York State businesses that can help them get into these markets. They include Canada, Mexico. We have offices in London and Berlin that focus on the European market. We have an office in Israel, in South Africa that covers much of sub-Saharan Africa, also in China, Shanghai, and also now in India. So in these markets, we're able to help companies in New York State get into those markets. You submit an application, and then you work with our foreign office representative. They'll work with you to generate market intelligence to see how your product will play in those markets. And then we'll also generate a list of reputable distributors so you have a way to get into those markets and sell your product. The second program that I'll mention is, yes? Oh, I'm just getting to that. I was going to mention with kind grant assistance from our friends at the Small Business Administration, we are able to participate in the STEP program. It's the State Trade Expansion Program. We apply for that every year when it's available, and what that program does, it allows us to help businesses in New York State that a little bit more broadly have 51% added value in New York State, less than 51% added value across the country, across the United States, so it's a little bit wider ranging. If you have operations in New Jersey and New York, and then maybe somewhere else, such as in Africa somewhere, then you could qualify in that way if it's 51% New York State or United States content, excuse me. With this program, we're able to offset the cost of 70% of eligible expenses for different activities. These can include going to trade shows, primarily trade shows, I would say, language translation, if you're going to be doing marketing in certain markets, or if you're going to be visiting markets on a business trip to identify distributors, potentially distributors that you would have been connected with through the EMAS program, then you can apply for STEP grant funding. Again, that's 70% of eligible expenses. There's a certain cap for different funding, different aspects of the funding. For the trade shows, for example, it's a $5,000 cap, or 70% of eligible costs. For others, it's a $2,500 cap for travel expenses, for instance. But that grant is really vital to us, and we're always very appreciative of our friends at the SBA for providing this program and allowing us to help New York State companies in this way. For any companies that might be interested in those opportunities, the new application for STEP Round 8 is going to be starting on October 1st for us, and you can access that application on our website and contact me with any questions you might have about that program. And then also just briefly touch on the Global New York Grant Fund Programs and New York State Funding Program. That's the program that I administer out of the Manhattan office. That program offers companies that want to do larger trade promotion projects. They want to go to multiple trade shows at the same time. Over a few month period, say, put in one application, combined application. They can also apply for language translation, market certification. So for different markets, you may need a type of certification. The EU has needed certifications for many different products. So you can apply for that certification, include that as part of a project in New York. Like some of the other programs, specifically EMAS, has be 51% added value in New York State for the Global New York Grant Fund program, less than 500 employees and being in business for a year. And we can offer a grant that would be 50% reimbursement of costs, and the same thing with the STEP grant. It's a reimbursable grant program. So you have to complete the project, you submit your financials, and then we're able to reimburse you after the project has been completed. You show that you expended the funds on the project that you outlined in your application. But it's a $10,000 minimum grant for a $20,000 total project cost, 50-50 matching, and that goes up to a $25,000 grant for a $50,000 or more total project cost. So it can be quite a substantial offset to companies looking to do activities across the world, including in Africa, going to trade shows in multiple countries, or identifying distributors and visiting them, making sure they're a good distributor for your product line. And then also just one more thing, I mentioned the STEP grant program. We do offer state-led trade shows that New York State representatives will lead New York State companies on either multi-sector trade missions or specific trade shows for industries. And we are going to be doing a South Africa trade mission in summer 2020. So do check out our website and look for that. If you're a New York State company and meet the qualifications for the STEP grant program, you can apply for that program. And you'll be connected with our foreign office, and they'll arrange business-to-business meetings for your business to hopefully make some sales and build some good relationships. So with that, I'll say thank you very much and turn it over to
My name is Mandy Lee. I work for SBA with Ed. So he's in the Expo Assistance Center. I work for New York District Office. So we cover 14 counties of downstate. We provide different kind of financing programs. So I know that who needs money for your business? Right, everybody. Okay. So at different stage of your business, you need financing. So we are here to help you. So let us know what kind of stage you're, and how much money you need. And we guarantee the loan to the lenders. So we work nationwide. We work with more than 3,000 banks. Just talk to us. And also for me, actually, we do a lot of business training. So basic, for example, I teach business, how to start a business, how SBA can help you, business plan writing, and marketing. And the last one, because a lot of business, actually, they forgot there are two huge markets. One is global market. The other one is government contract. So we teach people how to sell to the U.S. federal government, because U.S. federal government every year spend more than $500 billion to buy almost everything. Okay, so especially for women-owned business, actually you have 5% set aside. All the government agencies, 5% of their purchase have to buy from women-owned business. 5% have to buy from, we don't call minority, we call socially and economically disadvantaged business, 5%. And 3% for, we call hub zone, historically underutilized zone. So if your business actually located in those areas, actually you have 3% set aside. And for service disabled veterans, we have 3% set aside. So we teach you how to certify and how to find the opportunities in the federal government agency. And we can, for SBA, actually, we can represent you actually for the minority and women-owned business to negotiate with the government agency. So those are the, and then for the global market, actually, we teach you how to do the exporting, and actually he's emphasized actually to help you with financing. So I'm more in the educate side. And we also have provide one-on-one counseling, because usually I teach the class, but you need somebody to hold your hand, okay? So we have 3 resource partners. One is a small business development center. They are all located in different colleges. And the other one is school counseling. So they are like mentors. They are all business owners. Actually, they provide free services to you. The third one is a women business center. So they can provide free counseling, one-on-one counseling for you. So no matter what you need, actually, you can find a center actually can help you with your goal. Okay, so we will details later information. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we'll be taking questions. Does anyone have any questions before I ask my question? All right, so this question is for Mr. Bishop. What financing resources are available from your agency to help any small business get started?
So, and I'm glad so many people raised their hands. Capital is a big issue for small businesses. One thing I will say, and I get this request a lot, there's no such thing as free money. So a lot of business owners are looking for grants from government. On the federal level, there's a small amount of grants, but it's specific to what the government needs. So if you're sitting on a cure for some type of communicable disease that is affecting the country at that time, you're going to find the SBA will have a path for you to get a grant to actually get that product to market as quickly as possible. If you're thinking about starting a telecommunications company or a retail company, there are no grants. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is what I always get in terms of questions. What we typically do is we work with the private sector because there's a lot of companies who want to invest in small businesses, and they typically do business plan competitions, et cetera, et cetera. And that's usually the path where you can get no strings attached dollars, but you have to work for it. Now, the way we can help you is we can help you connect to affordable capital. And notice I said affordable capital because one of the things that I know a lot of people do is you go on Google and you type in capital, and the first thing that pops up is these online lenders, and they can actually help you get a loan within 5 days, and because you're pressed for cash because you waited until the last minute to actually plan out how to get this money, you sign up, you get the loan, and then by the time you're done, you don't realize that the percentage on that loan is about 30-40% by the time they're done with their fees, et cetera, et cetera. So what we try to do is get ahead of the curve. So not only with the education in terms of how to properly plan when you need capital, but also to connect you to the right lenders. Our lenders typically, depending, for example, we have products for women entrepreneurs where you can borrow up to $10,000 with a 0% interest rate. We have lenders like Axion who we could go up to $250,000 and their interest rate fluctuates. But the point is, we will sit down with you, we will look at where you are in terms of your capital need and your current position, and then we will find the right lender for you. If we cannot, then we'll connect you to one of our partners at Consumer Affairs where we can help you actually repair your credit, depending on what the challenges are. But 9 times out of 10, we are able to find a lender that will be able to connect with you. If you're contracting with the city, we have our own products. So if you have a city contract, so that means you have to bid and you have to win. But if you win a city contract, you can borrow up to $1 million at a 3% interest rate. And I bet you we beat the SBA with that percentage rate. And that's because the city of New York recognizes that capital is a concern for small businesses. And if you are contracting with us, we want to make sure we help you. So there's a number of different products that's available. But one of the things I want to make sure I'm clear on is that you have to have a path to make sure that you understand. So when we sit down with you, if you're a business owner, you need to have your projections. You need to know exactly how much capital do I need in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, which is why we try to make sure we educate you to figure out how to actually build a proper business plan. And between our resources, with SCORE, with the SPDCs, New York City is one of the most well-resourced cities for entrepreneurs. And sometimes it's overwhelming because there's so many resources available, but we have the free resources that's available for you to be successful. So you can either talk to us, you can talk to our partners on the state level or on the federal level to help you with getting access to our products.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, we have a question at the back here. We have 2 questions back here.
So my question is...
I think the mic is coming.
So my question is, these products, right? Is any one of them meant for any non-US registered business? And if we're talking about small business, how much are we talking about for these small businesses?
So I'll answer first and then turn it over to my partners. So for the products for New York City, our loan products are for anyone that's interested in doing business in New York City. So if you're thinking about opening up a business in the city, or if you are already in the city, then you can access those products. But because our agency, we're a very local agency, but I can turn it over to our federal partners and see if there's any opportunities for international companies to take advantage of capital.
No, actually, to use SBA's financing program, you at least have to have a green card to use the financing program. But for the counseling, actually, you can use that counseling. So maybe they can find some other way. But there are two grants I want to provide and share the information with you. The grant is actually not for you to start a business or operating your business. It's for you to do the research. So I know that some of you in the IT or scientific, so there are two grants. The first one called Small Business Innovation Research Grant. The second one is a Small Business Technology Transfer Program. So actually, you can find the information, come to my table, let you know. Those are the grants actually just give to you, like an award, okay? So, but most of the financing program we are talking about is the loan, okay? So actually, there is no grant for you to start a business, okay?
Okay. We'll take one more question from the audience. I just have to ask one quick question to Mr. Echo. You mentioned the SBA's Export Loan Guarantee Program. Are there eligibility requirements for exporters? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. I'll come right to the heart of it. There are some requirements like needs to be a for-profit business and things like that. It has to be a small business by our definition, which is for most people in the room probably pretty easy to meet. But for export loans, we have two requirements that may put us out of reach, but I will mention it that you know about that. One, we require 12 months of revenues experience. Okay, the way we look at it, exporting adds complexity to your business. If you haven't even sold domestically, it doesn't have to be export sales, it can be domestic sales. We want to know that you can acquire or manufacture a product and sell it. Okay, and then we can help you deal with the extra risks and rewards that come with exporting. The other requirement is we actually guarantee loans to banks, and banks lend up cash to you. The banks do not get 100% guarantee. They get a guarantee somewhere between 50 and 90%. That means that the bank is exposed, has risk, takes your risk. So the bank will do financial due diligence on you, okay? So you need to have a credit relationship with the bank, not a deposit relationship, or not only a deposit relationship. If you say, I have an account at Bank of America, that's very nice. Can you borrow from Bank of America? Because that means that the bank reviewed your financials or otherwise got comfortable with the risk on your company, okay? So we need revenue experience and we need to have a lender relationship. Now, I have lots of resources to help you with exports when you're a startup. The SBDCs know a lot about it. The Department of Commerce has very good services. You want to learn about the Export-Import Bank of the United States. If you're in the food business, you want to learn about the US Department of Agriculture. There's lots of resources out there. If you want to remember one thing, it is there are resources out there, lots of them. But so there is very little free money available.
Awesome, thank you. Due to time, we won't be able to take any more questions. Can we have another round of applause for this panel of speakers we have here? Thank you, thank you. Again, my name is Carrie Harrigan from Kerrigan Consulting. You guys can see me outside. I'm all over today. And Dr. Hill will tell you guys what we're doing next.
Okay, are y'all still awake and ready? What's this valuable information? This is what I'm doing. By the sound of the applause, was it good information? If you're ready to expand and start, somebody stand up and say, yeah. No, I'm kidding. If you're ready and it sparked the interest and we can bring added value, raise your hand. I'm just gauging. Can we help you further in what you've learned today? Raise your hand then. Okay, good. I just want to see what's going on. All right, last round of applause for this panel. Come on. Benga, I'll hand it over to you, but we would introduce the ambassador and the other one as well.
Can we please appreciate all of our panelists? Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. So at this time, we would like to transition into lunchtime. And so if you have this, we would ask you to go in first for lunch. Everybody's going to get lunch, so then we can have this blue badge follow afterwards. So we have this first, going for lunch. The room is right there, straight to, there's a name, I've forgotten what it is, but if you go out of this door, but before you leave, please, before you leave, I just want to recognize the presence of the ambassador representing the president of Guinea. She's sitting over there. She's French speaking, she probably didn't hear me, but can you please let me appreciate the ambassador over there sitting there. Yeah, she waved her hand. And also I have seated Ambassador Shola J. Omorege. Please do not leave, we're doing an introduction. Can you please let me appreciate our Ambassador Omorege seated over there. Just so you know, after lunch, we're going to have a panel, vibrant. If you're going to miss anything, do not miss the next two panels.